I actually was on a call a couple hours ago with a girlfriend whose partner has been in the legacy market for a while. And she's very interested in learning how those types of licenses or what type of considerations are being given right now in this upcoming bill towards people in the existing legacy market who want to transition into the legal market. Do you ladies have any thoughts on that?
So the tough part about that is these are all the details that unfortunately come out after legalization happens as regulations are being made. So these are the kind of things that hopefully our social equity chairperson, cannabis social equity chairperson, that position is supposed to make suggestions on which regulations and will be implemented to make these kind of things happen. So I know one of the things that I've been trying to work on is a plan to create language that transitions folks in this place. The difficult part of that is people want tax background. They want all of this other background. And unless we create some sort of forgiveness language in our policy, that makes it difficult, the transitioning person. But there's other non-plant touching elements that are there. The micro businesses are supposed to allow a space for people who are in the legacy market, who are in the Black market. For those folks who don't know what legacy market is, it's talking about the pre-existing Black market. So folks who are there, those micro licenses and those co-op licenses are supposed to allow them space to enter the market. But again, you got to start, getting your business, for lack of a better word, legitimized if you want to be in this space. And if you don't want to be in this space, you need to be, and I'm speaking about this separately, you need to be prepared for a crackdown that's going to come, because a regulated market cannot survive as long as a pre-existing non-regulated market still exists. So there will be crackdowns, even though the law is asking for there not to be. Somebody's mentioning amnesty programs for the legacy market. And again, this is language that we've been trying to work on, but one of the things that always comes up when we talk about amnesty is, oh, but we don't control the federal government, and if they don't have any taxes, what can we do? If, because federal government. So amnesty is just very difficult sometimes for politicians to sink their teeth into. So again, this is something that we as community people and we as businesses need to fight for.
Yeah, I want to make sure that the people in our audience feel empowered to reach out to us as the Revel community. If they have ideas or things that they're trying to push through, we want to support you and connect you with people. Like Lulu and I and Peter have tons of connections throughout this industry. The fact that we were able to grab Saki with 55 minutes on the clock to join us in a pinch is just an example of the relationships that we've been cultivating. But I say that because I actually had a meeting with somebody who had been attending our show for the last couple of weeks. And I understood so much about their business and how this could actually be very legitimized. The important part was to take a step back and to understand what's actually going on. Now, there's people that have great distribution networks. Leverage that, go for a license. There are people that actually have amazing brands and you have a big consumer base. Another piece that's slept on in the underground is you have consumer data. Like, what people are buying, what flavors they like. If you can quantify that, that is so valuable, right? There's tons of ways that we can play this game to legitimize. Now, I also understand and respect and appreciate tons of people don't want to. And I appreciate that. And I support them. In Colorado and California, there is still an underground market. Now, that is slowly going to slip away a bit more, but it will never go to zero. It will never go to zero. That's the name of the game. But I do want to make sure that 2 years from now, people in our communities weren't like, damn, I should have applied for that license. Right? Like that's the one thing I don't want. If you decided strategically it doesn't make sense and I'm going to ride this wave, like do you, but don't do it because you did not pay attention to what's going on right now. You did not reach out and get the education you needed and strategically think, is this the best thing I could do for, me and my family?
And
So-
I want to echo on that we're also living in a time where in communities of color right now, there's so much support for us to start businesses. Take advantage of all of those programs and all of that support that's out there right now, helping us learn what an return on investment is, what a P&L is, because let me tell you, just because this is cannabis or CBD, if you want to make money, you're going to have, if you want to make money on the books, you're going to have to learn how to do all of these business school things to make money. You're going to have to learn digital marketing if you're in cannabis. You're going to have to learn SEO. You're going to have to learn all of the stuff that a regular business has. So why don't you start taking advantage of that right now and figuring it out with a lot of the incubators that are out there? And I know in Harlem, we have the Small Business Development Center. Every community has small business development centers. New York City has the Small Business Bureau. Like there's so many, and I say this because I have family in Florida and in other states, and the support network we have in New York City as small businesses is, you can't compare it. I don't know how it is in California, but I know I'm in an incubator right now with people in Texas, and the support we have here in New York is ridiculous. So if you're not banking on that, and in this moment, like it's our time to shine in communities of color. They're giving us opportunities. They're giving us education. And it's not like people from outside, like even people who've made it in our own communities, we recognize we have to grow from within. And even in this cannabis space, New York's going to be a little different. And if we want it to be different, we have to get ready for that. Like you need to get your business sense, like start understanding how you could trademark stuff. I mean, I trademarked my name. I trademarked Urbus I applied for the trademark in 2017 for a CBD business before CBD was legal, and I got the trademark. You have to be smart. You have to know how to play the game, like how to play your words, there's ways to do things, but you have to start doing it now. Don't wait till it's legal to get off running, because there's a lot of people already getting ready.
And remember, you don't have to touch the plant to be in the business. This legalization is going to open up tons. One of the reasons we pushed for this is because it's going to open up tons more opportunities outside of touching the plant. Marketing, design, package design. People are going to want to be sustainable. Hopefully people are going to want to be ecologically sustainable. But all of these, oh my goodness, the phone never stops. All of these things are opportunities for us. We need to think creatively, especially for us.
Okay, so we are at about time, but I want to keep it rolling. If you guys don't mind just staying on a couple more minutes. Those in the Zoom audience, if you have a question, please raise your hand and we'll bring you on stage. And if we don't have anybody, while we wait, I want to understand from the two of you, it's crunch time. We're in the final hour, fingers crossed, pray, do whatever you do to try to push this through. What can we do tactically to push it forward now, or after it does legalize? If it does, what should we be doing? Are there certain websites we should be going? Are there certain actions we should be taking specifically? And we can add the links in the chat if you guys dish them out.
I'm always going to push that you follow Drug Policy Alliance. And if you're really into advocacy, is it the Smart Start Coalition? I always confuse it if it's the Start Smart or Smart Start. I always
I know that the website is smart-ny.com, but
There
I
you
get
go.
confused all the time too.
I always like type in both ways because I get it wrong, but those are right now the main advocacy. Is that correct, Saki? That they're kind of, everyone is kind of going under those umbrellas and dividing and conquering. I'm always going to tell you, go challenge your community board because they need to start thinking about all of this. But that's my 2 bits, that you need to challenge your community board levels so that they start escalating it to the electeds and they start figuring out what 40% in public education and what 20% for drug treatment looks like in their community.
I'm going to, of course, agree with her about going to smart-ny.com. But they're a good place to go to get information. A lot of the numbers that you're looking for are there in terms of statistics. And there's also a lot of action tools, meaning, hey, I want to call somebody. I want to get information about this. But in terms of being active, and this is a hard one because I really believe that advocacy has to follow your heart. So the things that you are concerned about, that's where you should be going. If you're looking for information, definitely go to smart-ny.com. Can-Aware Society, they have good information. I know Can-Occlusive also likes to put a lot of information up about the bills and what's going on. That's for New Jersey and here in New York. I'm trying to think of who else has that info, but a lot of us really funnel people back to smart-ny.com because they have the statistics. But again, if this is something that's passionate to you and you're a parent, then go to your CEC boards, go to your school boards, go now to your principal of your school. The principal of my middle school, she's like, I see everything you're doing. I want you to come in here and do an education program because we need to start getting our students ready for this, you know? So go where your passion is. If your passion is about food, go to your community garden programs, go to these places and start getting them activated. Say, do you know about this? Are we getting ready for this? Because I feel like we should be getting ready for this. And that's how businesses start. Think about that. How do you think businesses start? It starts from a passion.